Okay, so good morning, everyone. Yes, as somebody mentioned, that this is the best times to be. Yes, when I say best times, good news comes in pockets these days. But I'm here to talk about business continuity planning and as well as business continuity in itself. Many of you know this topic in and out, but still, for the sake of everyone, what I would like to bring to the notice is I'm not going to drown you on slides. It's going to be more of a conversation. So I have these conversations to start, and this has to be interactive, right? And all of you are running businesses, are running it successfully. So the first question which I have is that just let's imagine that if your WhatsApp group has disappeared tonight, right? Your business WhatsApp group has disappeared tonight. How many of you still think that you can run your business tomorrow? Any open answers?
Yeah, I can run my business without a WhatsApp.
Wonderful. Harish Prabhu is saying he can run his business without WhatsApp. Yes. Anybody else?
Same here, Guru, but it will be difficult. Yes, there will be
Difficult.
challenges. Yes.
Difficult. Yes. Challenging. Perfect. So
My
for some
business
people, it's not
standstill.
challenging. Yes.
My business comes to a standstill without WhatsApp.
Okay. So there it is. So for some people, it is absolutely a standstill. For some, they can manage. But what about the second question? Suppose you have a group of employees and your top employee doesn't show up tomorrow. Can your business still run smoothly? If it is one employee, fine. If it is two, okay, manageable. What about 10 of them go back home and they can't connect? What about people? While technology is something that goes up and down, are people replaceable? That's something that we have to ask a question. What if everybody is available and you are unreachable? The person who takes the decision for your business and the person who runs your decision for your business for 24 hours. Does your business continue? Do you have a second in command who can take decisions on behalf of you? Or would your business come to a standstill? See, there are no definite answers of yes and no for all of these questions. Each of these questions that I have posted out here on the slide needs to be something that needs to be internalized. And for each company and for each organization, it differs. While we all talk about technology, while we all talk about a single point of failure in terms of your leadership, what about data? What about if internet goes down completely, right? Then how do you conduct business? Do we suddenly transport ourselves to the world of 80s and 90s where there was no internet and we survive? Or do we have systems in place, or do we have a backup plan? Many of us would say we have a great data backup in a cloud or anything. What if internet itself is down? Many people would say data has been backed up, Prabhu. I have it on my hard drive. I can just plug it in and work. How many of us has tested the last backup restore has worked, right? So these are some of the questions. And while all of this is internal to us, what's external? What's the communication we're going to tell our customers, our clients, our people? When they reach out to us, do they see a 404 page on our website with the best of their CEOs, or do they say that we will be back soon, or do they feel that we have vanished from earth, right? So these questions are not to create a doomsday scenario. I'm not, especially on a day where there is a ray of hope and light, right? But but I just wanted to put it out there for those who have been not thinking on these lines, and we are in a world where we need to think these things. So business continuity, as the name suggests, that it continues. Our business continues, and it's totally unpredictable today in a business environment. Disruptions can strike us anytime. It could be not necessarily a war or a communal riot. It could be as simple as a cyber attack, which can get into a complex issue. It can be a natural disaster. It can be a pandemic. We are a blessed generation. I often say to the youngsters that the youngsters who have come up now in the 90s and the 2000s and the millennials, that they have seen almost a world war, almost a pandemic, and on almost a financial 2 or 3 financial breakdowns before they're 25. This was this was spanned across centuries. Now you are seeing time itself getting compressed and these events becoming more frequent. So it's just very imperative that rather than to lose revenue, damage our reputation, and have a business failure, it's more important for us to just plan and be ahead of the curve. From that perspective, um, as the chart, and again, I'm not going to drown you on this, but I just want to touch upon certain things that people should have a look out for as small and medium enterprises business. I'll send this presentation to you, so do not worry on some of these contents. But things like you see on the category side, which I have listed down here, that these are some of the things that we should be thinking about. While I spoke about dependency and leadership and others, what about supply chain? Some of us are in organizations where we depend upon our vendors, and what if their main supplier stops for 2 weeks? Can we still deliver? Do we have enough goods or supplies that we can run our business? What about cash flow? Like some of the auditors and others were mentioning, what if the revenue stops today? How many days can we survive? What is the contingency fund that we have in the business? What is the financial realism that we should look at? Talking about crisis leadership, right? One of the things that happens is that the minute the crisis hits, it's not the disaster itself that affects us. It's the panic and the confusion that affects a business. So in terms of communication, in terms of customer trust or crisis leadership, do we have a strong plan how we would address it when things go south, when things go difficult? Of course, all solutions are there in picking up our chanting bag and chanting, but there is also necessity to use organizational intelligence and to be prepared, right? Be it a temple, be it a business unit, be it anybody, it's very important that we apply our intelligence to be prepared. Of course, if things go very south, there are things that God can handle for us, and we look up to Him. But we should be ready to really think on these lines. So these are some of the things that I've just listed out here, be it cash flow, communication, processes. Many companies have robust processes, or you might have worked out your auditing, your registrations, or your SEO management, or your activities. Some of you, as you mentioned while you in your introduction, while I was hearing, are also coaches and virtual coaches during these troubled times. If internet goes down, how do you coach? How does your business stay afloat? These are some of the questions. Can we have physical sessions? So we need to think through on those processes. How do we onboard our clients? How do we provide, and how do we reach out to them? So from that perspective, and what I would like to do is just this is entirely a vast subject, but and we are small, medium enterprises, some of them are large enterprises, but what we are looking at is how quickly can we, if we start today, let's say, okay, Prabhu, I've not heard about this before, or I have heard about this, but I have always kept at the back burner. I hope that a 10-point resolution would come from somewhere for me as well. But if we have not thought about it and we have been keeping this in our back burners, if we have to bring it forward and we have to just do it, how would we do it? So this is just a simple manual where we can start at the scratch, right? There are only 3 elements that we need to look at, and those 3 elements are before, which is the time right now. In fact, we are somewhere between before and during the disaster, or an element which would need the business continuity plan, and there is some action after. So I call it as the run, respond, and recover. When I say run, I don't literally mean when the disaster happens, you run away. What I mean to say is that if everything stops right now, identify what runs your business. Critically listed down, if everything stops right now, what breaks first? What are the loopholes in the organization right now which you need to look into? What are the things that you might take a pen and a paper, and it should be as simple as you can fit it in one page. That you think, you know what, the invoicing process or the sales order process or the process of communication or the process of invoicing and getting revenue. What if bank accounts freeze? Then how do I get money? How do I keep continuing my cash flow? No, the most important is me reaching out to my employees. What is that process of or insurances? How do I renew my insurance for my employees, for my business? All these things are something for us to do in this phase, and I'll take you through systematically on the run phase. Once you have identified, and when the disaster strikes, be it a pandemic, be it a natural disaster, what matters is the speed of moving into plan B, and you identifying what systems and what technology or data or people have affected, but what clarity it needs to bring. So you have always a rainy path and a summer path. The summer path is during good times. The rainy path needs to move very quickly, and what you need to organize for it. And when the sun shines again, when the wind has and the storm has passed on, and there is broad daylight at the end of the tunnel, and it's not of a next oncoming train, which many people talk about, that you say always there's a light at the end of the tunnel, but nowadays, mostly it might be of another oncoming train. But you also need to recover in your business, right? So survival is step one, come back to normalcy and to spring ahead is step two. So run, respond, and recover. These are the three steps. What do we do critically in it? And there's a very simple table. Run. When you are in this phase, and I would encourage all the small, medium enterprises to think through, right? And to think through from this perspective that what will break first, right? Identify which are the critical processes. List your top 5 business activities. And I've kept it just 4 points. Even if we do these 4 points, even if you do 2 of these in each of your organization, you would be 80% prepared than many of the businesses who are not even thinking on these lines, right? We think, and then if you go to the internet, you will find 20, 30 pointers, but just getting even 2 or 3 pointers in your list or start thinking about it, planning is more of a clarity, and it gives you immense confidence in terms of running your business and ensuring that the revenue flow is there, right? What will keep you on the edge of competition and give you a better edge than the competition is your clarity and your thinking process. So on the run front, find out the processes. Are you dependent upon one person for your decision making? Yes or no? If yes, sit down with your next in command person or somebody who is trustworthy, who have been in your business, and train that backup. Many of you might say, I have seen this happen. I go on a holiday. Already this is in place. I know the backup person. Fantastic. You just need to prep him for this particular scenario. It's not a vacation. It's really a business continuity. Then, is the data safe? Many of you might be handling critical data like audit. Some of you were auditors. You might be handling critical data or balance sheets of companies. That cannot be compromised in terms of a cyber attack, right? Which is very common these days. We might keep it in AWS or we might keep it in many other places, but we need to be doubly, triply sure that the client data is not compromised during these times. Many of our clients might not be from this region who is not affected by these things. They would expect us a full confidentiality of their data. So please ensure data confidentiality is maintained. Principally, can we communicate? What if internet, mobile goes down? What if email goes down? Do we have a backup? There are even solutions right now which is getting in the market, like in app stores and many other called as many apps which can make your phone work as walkie-talkies for some time, for some region of time. So there they say, even if internet goes down, you can walk, you can talk, you can at least pass a message. Might be a Bluetooth connection, but it allows you to talk, communicate, right? So these things, rather than finding on the D-Day, it's better to prepare it right now today. But Prabhu, maybe I skipped the bus, or I have this plan rudimentarily in place. Now the disaster has hit. What should I do? Right? You should have a crisis leader, right? It should be a central command where the crisis leader and an emergency team have one decision owner. It could be you, and there should be a backup person, right? Just create a one-page playbook, how you will operate, right? If things go down, how you'll operate, think about it, right? Write in simple steps. Any person should be able to understand. 5-step process. If emails are not there, you will give me a call and get me approved. If phones are not working, send me a message. If not, then please drive, come to my place, list down the 10 orders, I'll sign it, and we will go ahead. Something like that, a simple process. Please think through what it would be. Have a communication template handy already, right? This is something which we can do. You can use the chat GPTs of the world. You can use anything. It can create you within seconds. In case of this, it will be polite, it will be insightful, and it will tell you, clients, please hold on with us. We are undergoing some difficulties in business continuity. Sometimes this messaging is more important than anything else. If you can have manual processes, please, paperback processes, identify those. So I kept it simple. You can do many things, right? You can have a lot of things to talk about. Some people would say, I would like to talk about my employees' safety first, right? If some disaster has struck. So you can also talk about responding and mobile call trees. That means dividing your employees into batches. For example, if Nand Prabhu has 20 employees under him, right? He identifies 6 people and each of them call 3 of them during disaster. Hey, are you safe? Hey, Ajay, are you safe? You just call 3 people and then find out. So each person sends back, yes, yes, yes. When you get 6 people, yes, 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 you have already covered 20 people of your organization are safe and sound, right? It takes literally 2 minutes. We ran this for Airtel in India back in 2008 when their mobile base stations caught fire. And imagine if a mobile base station gets into a fire, and that means your billing system has gone down, and Airtel has around 1 billion people on their network, which means that you cannot bill at least 200 million people. What they have utilized their telecom for 2 months, you cannot bill them. And if you cannot bill them, that earns up to around, say, 600, 700 crores of rupees that you are lost. So we literally were talking about how to ensure, and that's one part of it, that's your revenue. What about the employees who are there working in that building base station? What about their safety, right? And so in troubled times like these, what you implement is a simple mobile call tree, and you will be surprised that a 15,000 employee, like an Airtel back in those days, right? We covered the safety employee tree within 3 minutes. That means that everybody started calling, and 15,000 people are safe. We got to know in 3 minutes. That's the effectiveness of planning and managing. If every person knows the 3 employees I need to call and ask for safety, your employee safety is done, right? You're not panicking. One person is not calling 15, one person is not calling them back, etc. And if you get a no from that person, you know your specific measures are to be only for that person who is going to get affected. Again, this is for people who are having large set of employees. We planned everything. We put that in place. How do we recover? Right? How do we come back? Right? Always have some cash buffers. Cash is king these days. If things go down, right? Have at least your contingency fund and financial planning, right? I used to talk to Padma Mataji quite often, and she used to insist while on financial planning and others, keep your contingency funds very clearly 6 months, 12 months, right? That's a very good practice. I try to implement that. So these things are very important, and we might not think about it. We might know the immediate funds, but it's good to have. Find out alternative vendors from different regions who can supply us and keep us afloat. Communicate back to the proactively to the customers that sorry for the delay. We were unforeseen circumstances. If you think about, you can give some coupon codes for that delay and help to recover your business. Think about those mechanisms. These things are something that people don't do, right? They run, they respond, but they forget to recover and they forget to empathize that while, okay, we have gone through difficulty, others might not always see us as people in difficulty because the world is a place, single business place, and they can get services from somewhere else very easily at a click of a button without anything. So many people might not empathize with us, but still, how do we keep our chin up and we ensure that we run our business? Did we learn? Most importantly, a retrospective look, right? These 30 days are a best reflection point. What did we learn? What did we improve? So these 2 weeks, I would say, is something can be very well utilized, because in today's world, the question is not if disruption will happen. We have already seen the question is disruptions will happen. Will our business pause or will it panic? And what we need to do is to ensure there is a pause, but continuity in a very smooth way. So lastly, I want to say, and I want to open it up for questions and answers. And if you're still thinking, okay, that's a lot of things to think through, how can I really get this done? What should I do? I've just put a 5-day plan, right? Each day you can just take this, right? First, day one, identify what your processes are. Day two, what is your risk and dependency on vendors, on people, etc. Find that out, right? Write down single points of failure, be it people, supplier, system, whatever. Data, dedicate that on day three. Roles and plans, and finally communication and test. Test it out. Sometimes, simulate this one half a day on a Friday evening. You say, tell guys 2 hours, we'll just simulate if things will work or not. That kind of a simulation dry run helps you when the thing really hits you. So I just want to give, I said, a 7-step plan, and there are only 5 steps here, because the 6th step is don't forget your prayers, right? Pray for everyone and help others as well. That's the 6th step. And 7th step is that always be planning for the things ahead. So these are the 2 things that I would like to leave with. So I just wanted to keep it short, simple, run, respond, recover with a 5-day plan for you. And if things go further south, we cannot help. And that is what we also gain this strength from the spiritual networking, that the spiritual side of things will help us tide over as well. So Hare Krishna, thank you so much for hearing. I wanted to, if there are any questions, comments, clarifications, we can more than that, we can discuss. Hare Krishna.